Hello, fifth graders, and welcome to your math lesson for today. For today, you will need just two things, paper and pencil. So if you need to pause and go get those things, go do so, and then come on back and join me. So fifth graders, our objective for today is going to be reviewing for an upcoming quiz coming up on Thursday, actually. Those of you who have been coming to math meetings and have been watching the lessons, I've been referring to this quiz quite a bit, okay? So we took our DDI, this is I don't know how many weeks ago now, and there were certain problems that were tricky for us on that DDI. And so I've been reviewing with people, again, with this intention of getting ready to be able to show some growth and some mastery in this, okay? So today we're going to be really spending time going over a bunch of review problems that are going to be very similar to the types of problems that we might see on this quiz, okay? So this should really kind of help you out as you're moving into this. This should help you be able to identify what maybe you need to know and maybe if there's any extra practice. So mostly today, I'm going to flip you around. We're going to do some practice work, and then your homework is going to be more review of the same types of problems. And again, the intention being that when you take this quiz on Thursday, that you will feel ready, that you'll have seen these and kind of know what to expect, okay? So with that in mind, I'm going to flip you around. And get you situated. And again, you should be working with me. So this lesson today is really going to be pausing, solving, coming back, and seeing how you did, okay? So our first type of problem is going to be subtraction of unlike fractions. So mixed numbers that are unlike fractions. So 7 1/3 minus 2 5/6. So you're going to pause, you're going to solve, and then come on back and see how you did. So as always, we want to start with those whole numbers. 7 minus 2 is 5, and then we find our common denominator, which happens to be 6. So 5/6 should stay 5/6. 1/3 becomes 2/6. Now remember, this is a case where we can't take 5 away from 2, okay? 2 minus 5, we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to have to make this improper and subtract. So remember, to make this improper, we say 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32. So 32/6 minus 5/6. Now we can do this. 32 minus 5. You should get 27/6. And now we have to make this proper, which maybe you do in your head, or maybe you go on over to the side and say 6 goes into 27 4 times remainder of 3. So this is equal to 4 3/6. And you should always be asking, is this proper? Which the answer was no, so we made it proper. Can it be simplified? And the answer is yeah, it can be simplified. So you should have 4 1/2. Let's try another. Let's do 8 1/6 minus 3 3/4. So we're going to pause, go find an answer, come on back and see how you did. So we start with those whole numbers. 8 minus 3 is 5. And we need to find a common denominator here. Our common denominator, hopefully you found, was 12. Okay. 1/6 equals 2/12. 3/4 equals 9/12. Again, this is a subtraction problem that we cannot solve as is, so we need to make this improper. So 5 times 12 is 60, plus 2 is 62. Now we can do our subtraction. 62 minus 9 is 53/12. Okay. So we always get to this point and say, is it proper? No, it is not proper. So we should go do our division, or maybe you did this in your head, which is great. Okay. But we end up here, which means our answer is 4 5/12. Kind of think about it like a clock. You're starting at the top of the clock and then moving around. So 4 5/12. 4 and 5/12. Okay. And we check, is that simplified? Yes, it is. All right, let's try one more before we switch to a different type of problem. I'm going to say 12 and 1/8 minus 4 and 3/4. Go ahead and pause, solve, come on back and see how you did. So starting with our whole numbers, 12 minus 4 is 8, and then we have to find our common denominator, which in this case is 8. 8 is our common denominator. So 1/8 is 1/8. 3/4, though, we'd say is 6/8. And again, we can't do the subtraction. So we make this improper. 8 times 8 is 64, plus 1 is 65. Now we should be able to subtract. 65/8 minus 6/8 is, that's not right, 59 should be what you got, 59/8. Okay, and so now we come on over and do our subtraction. Division. Ugh. Okay, we know that 8 goes into 59 7 times because 5, 6, 7, 8 with 3. And again, if you're thinking of your clock starting at the top and going around, we get 7 and 3/8. Can we simplify? No, we cannot. So that is our answer. Okay, this next one I'm going to do on a whiteboard because I'm going to keep kind of changing the numbers, but keeping the gist of the problem the same. So you won't have to watch me write and rewrite a problem multiple times. So there were blank, I'm going to come back to that, oranges. They were divided into bags of blank. So the first question is going to be, and I'm actually going to put it down here. How many bags were there? And the second question, how many oranges were left? Okay, so we're going to do, like we did before, a few problems of these, but I want to make sure that you're not having to sit here and watch me write and rewrite. So we'll say they're going to be divided into bags of 36, and there are 4,435. So we've been doing review work with this, so hopefully you're feeling like, yep, I know what to do, and you're off and running. So go ahead and pause and come on back and see how you did. So this word divided there, fifth graders, right? Divided should tell us we are dividing, right? So we're going to divide 4,435 by 36. So 36 goes into 44 one time with a remainder of 8. And then we bring down that 3. 36 goes into 83 2 times. 2 times 36 is 72 with a remainder of 11. 36 goes into 115 3 times. I'm running out of space. I got to write smaller. With a remainder of 7. And so we stop there. So question 1 asks us how many bags were there? So we want to say for this answer to number 1, there were 123 bags. This is the number of bags there were. Okay, I'll put it there. How many oranges were left? Down here, 7 is how many oranges were left. The remainder is how many oranges were left. Okay, let's try another one. I'm not going to change the wording of the problem. Again, I don't need you guys to have to sit and watch me writing. But I am going to change the numbers of this problem to give you another chance to solve. Okay, so let's see. We're going to be dividing these into bags of, let's say, 27. And And we're going to have 3,330. Okay? Go ahead. Sorry, fifth graders, my timer's going off. Go ahead and pause and solve this problem, and then come on back and see how you did. So remember, divided, right, means divide. It means just what it says. So if we're dividing them into bags, we want to do just that. So we're going to set up our division problem. And we ask, how many times does 27 go into 3? It doesn't, but it goes into 33 one time with a remainder of 6. And then we bring down, okay? How many times does 27 go into 63? We'd say twice. 2 times 27 is 54 with a remainder of 9. And then we bring down the 0. How many times does 27 go into 90? 3 times. Again, with a remainder of 9. So how many bags were there? This is our answer for how many bags, 123. How many were left? 9. Okay, so here's our answers for these. Okay, fifth graders, you will definitely see problems like this on an upcoming quiz of yours. And by upcoming, I mean on Thursday, so very much upcoming. Okay, so we've also been talking about, and those of you who have come to our math meetings or have been doing the lessons have heard me say this before, that we are now working on division with decimals, but there are some problems where what we're wanting you to do is to do division focusing on fractions. So for this one, you're going to be doing division, but you want to find the value and express your answer in proper and simplest form. And so if you're hearing proper or simplest, this means fractions, right? Decimals aren't expressed in any kind of proper or simple way, right? They're just decimals, but fractions can be expressed in proper and simplest form. And so when you're doing these division problems, that say proper and simplest form, that means you want to express the answer as a remainder, or express the remainder as a fraction over a decimal. I mean, by talking right now, it makes no sense. Express your remainder as a fraction over the divisor is what I'm trying to say. I apologize. Thank you to those of you sticking with me. So go ahead, pause and do this division and come on back and see how you did. So 100 divided by 8, 8 does not go into 1, but it goes into 10 one time with a remainder of 2. And we bring down our 0. 8 goes into 20 2 times with a remainder of 4. Now, our lessons of late fifth graders, we've been putting a decimal point and adding a 0, which is a great, great, great skill and one we're going to keep working on. But in this case, remember what I said, if you're being asked for proper and simplest form, that means you're expressing your answer. The remainder should be over the divisor. So we end up with 12 and 4/8. And that clock thing can make sense here too, right? We start here and then go around 12 and 4/8, just like a clock. We always check, is it proper? Yep. Can it be simplified? Yes, it sure can. So your answer here should be 12 and a half. Okay, let's try another one. We're going to say 111 divided by 9. So pause, solve, come on back and see how you did. So 9 does not go into 1. It goes into 11 one time with a remainder of 2, and we bring down our 1. 9 goes into 21 2 times with a remainder of 3. And again, think about our clock. 12 and 3/9. So we go around our clock, 12 and 3/9. Okay. Is it proper? Yes. Can it be simplified? Yes. This should be 12 and 1/3. We're going to try one more like this, fifth graders. And then we have some word problems that we're going to do to round it out. So we'll say divided by 12. Thanks for your patience. So let's do 100 divided by 12. So pause, come on back and see how you did. So we do our division. 12 does not go into 1, does not go into 10. With a little work, you may have figured out that 12 goes into 100 8 times. 8 times 12 is 96 with a remainder of 4. And again, we go around our clock. So 8, excuse me, and 4 twelfths. And we ask, is it proper? Yes. Can it be simplified? Yes. So we get 8 and 1/3 is our answer. All right, fifth graders, the last thing we're going to do is do 2 word problems. They're very similar word problems, so it should help you, again, prepared for Thursday's word problems. Remember, fifth graders, as you are solving word problems, that you want to go ahead and solve them on paper following all the steps to really make sure that you're doing the word problems correctly. And then, once you've done those steps, you can go ahead and find or add those answers onto the Google form. So go ahead, pause. Actually, I'll read through the problem and then I'll have you pause. So Carlos bought 32 cookies. He gave 1/4 of them to family and 1/6 of the remainder to coworkers. How many cookies were left? So we had done problems like this with our fractions unit, and we've been reviewing them in lessons and in meetings. So go ahead, pause, give it a try, come on back and see how you did. So remember, our first step to word problems is underlining the question. And then we want to go ahead and write our answer statement with a blank. So blank cookies were left. Now we want to figure out who or what is this problem about. This is about Carlos's cookies. So I'm going to label this C for cookies. And draw my unit bar. We can do this with just one unit bar. And remember, when we're doing fractions, just take it one sentence at a time. And with each sentence, you can add that information. So Carlos bought 32 cookies. So we can label our unit bar 32. He gave 1/4 of them to family. So we're going to divide our unit bar into 4 chunks and then label one of those chunks family. So I have F for family. He then gave 1/6 of the remainder to coworkers. So remember, when we were doing this before, I had us kind of covering up the rest, and so that we're looking at this remainder. So if this is the remainder here, and we have 3, but we're talking about sixths, what do we need to do to each of these boxes so that we have 6 of them? We're going to divide them in half. But remember, if we do that to one box, we need to do that to all of our boxes. So now we have family and family in both of those. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes remaining, and 1/6 of those are going to coworkers. How many cookies were left? So where does our question mark go? Right here. And now we want to look at the problem to tell us what it is that we need to be doing. So we have a known number, 32. And we have equal sized boxes, so we're going to divide to find what one of these boxes is. So if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total, we're going to do 32 divided by 8, which gets us 4. So that means each box is equal to 4, including the ones that have letters in them. So now we look to our question mark. We need to do some multiplication here, and the question mark tells us to multiply 4 by 5, which gets us 20. So how many cookies were left? 20 cookies were left. Okay, I'm going to give you another shot at trying it again. And again, it's following that same process that we just went through. So it gives you a chance to try again with what we just worked on. So reading the problem, Mai bought 48 trading cards. She gave 1/3 of them to friends and 3/4 of the remainder to siblings. How many trading cards were left? Go ahead and pause, give it a try, come on back. So of course, we're going to start by underlining the question and then writing our answer statement. Blank trading cards were left. Who or what is the problem about? We're looking at Mai and her trading cards. So I'm having TC for trading cards. And again, just one unit bar is necessary for this. Now we go back and reread the problem and again, take it a sentence or even a part of a sentence at a time as we're adding information. So Mai bought 48 trading cards. 48. She gave 1/3 of them to friends. So we're going to divide this into 3 equal chunks and label one of them friends. And then remember, we're kind of thinking about the remainder in this way. 3/4 of the remainder to siblings. So currently we only have 2 boxes and we're talking about fourths with the remainder. So how are we going to make these 2 boxes into 4? Yeah, we're going to divide them in half. And remember, if we divide some of the boxes in half, we want to do that to all of them. We want to be dealing with equal box sizes here. And remember, this whole one is friends, so I'm putting F in each place to keep track of that. Okay, 3/4 of the remainder she gave to siblings. So if there are 4 boxes and 3/4 of them to siblings, we say 1, 2, 3 to siblings. Then we look for our question mark. How many trading cards were left? So that question mark is going to be that remaining box. Now we're going to work our computation. We have a known amount, 48. Divided over how many boxes? 6 boxes. 48 divided by 6 is what? 8, which means each of these boxes is equal to 8, which again, you could write in 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. And now we want to look to our question mark and see, do we need to do a multiplication problem? It's just the one box, so we actually don't need to do any multiplying. We just know that there are 8 trading cards left. So 5th graders, I've given you a really good glimpse of what Thursday's quiz is going to look like, okay? This is a great time if you're finding like, some of those didn't go that well, right? Maybe those word problems, it's kind of coming back to you, but not super clearly. Again, that's a great clue to say, I'm going to go visit office hours and get a little bit of extra review. So coming up on Thursday, you're going to be taking a short quiz, and then I'm also going to be adding in some review homework, kind of going over a lot of different things that we've been working on throughout the year, again, with this sort of ongoing cumulative review. So that quiz is going to be really, really super short. It's like 5 questions. And then the homework will be like, I don't know how many questions, but combined, it shouldn't be too bad. There's not going to be a lesson on Thursday, okay? And then we have a long weekend after that. So, it'll be kind of some time to get caught up as well. So you can expect those 2 things on Friday. Again, if you have questions or you want to go and do a little more review, then come on to office hours and we will be happy to do that with you. All right, good luck, 5th graders.